Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Alright y'all, I'm back with another flashback. This video features Tori, aka Mama Joy. Guys, I'm currently working on re-uploading my content back onto YouTube, adding my commentary so that I can meet the YouTube requirements. This is why you're seeing so many flashbacks from my channel, but I can assure you I am staying up to date on all things happening within carbonation. Y'all make sure that you drop me a comment, smash that like button, and share. All right, let's get into this video.
Yay! I always start off like mad awkward. But let's do it. Let's let the people come in the room. Ay. People come in the room. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. It's another podcast, so I'm gonna let y'all flow in a little bit. But y'all know what time it is. It is another session of Woman to Woman. Right? Another session of Woman to Woman, and it's been...
Now, she did quite a few of these women to women sessions, but then she just stopped. I'm not really sure what's going on with Tori, aka Mama Joy, these days, but yeah, she stopped doing these women to women panels.
Another session of Woman to Woman, and it's been a minute, and I have a very special guest. A very special guest. I'm very excited. We have the conscious vegan, the queen of sarcasm, the queen of the resting face. So yeah, I have the conscious vegan here. She has a very unique, honestly, it's not so unique when you think about it, and that's no shade, because so many people go through it, but her situation is unique in the way that she healed it, and like the way she healed. So she's in the room. She sent the request. So yeah, there it is. Peace. Okay, let me readjust. Peace. The queen of sarcasm herself. How are you? I was on your channel not too long ago, and I'm like, I was glad you went live, because I'm like, anytime I see you, it's always like stone cold face, and it's like the smirk. It's the smirk that gets me every time too, and I'm like, this woman never smiles. She never smiles.
Like, I don't give a fuck mentality, so I really just be chilling. For real.
That's the Scorpio. That's the Scorpio for sure. For sure. So what do you go by, the conscious vegan? Is that what you want to go
that's
by?
just like that's
or
just my persona
what would you like
on
me to
social
call
media,
you?
but in real life, my name is Kendall. I'm from Harlem. Yeah.
Kendall
from Harlem.
Harlem. Okay.
Where
I
you
don't know nothing
from?
about New York. Not
Where
a
you
thing. My
from?
husband's from New York though. I'm
Okay.
from Missouri, the Midwest. From Missouri, raised in Missouri, moved to Illinois, but then went straight to the military. So
I'm from Harlem, but I'm in
traveling after
Texas right now.
that.
Is Texas the Midwest? I don't even know. Oh yeah, I guess
That's like the
it's the South.
South. That's the South.
I don't know nothing.
That's the South.
I don't know nothing
That's
about this country.
the South. How long you been in Texas? Because I actually love Texas. Even though the
Tell
weather's
me about
like
it.
very
I have no
bipolar.
idea. I came here thinking it's gonna be hot all the time. No, it's freezing. It's freezing.
Yes.
But I
Yeah.
love it here. I've only been here for about 7 months now. It's a new journey, but I love it. I love it. It's very clean, fresh air, peaceful environment. So much better than New York. I love my city, but it was over. It was over.
Right. The concrete jungle couldn't do it. That's how I felt. I initially, like I said, I moved to Illinois after high school, and I actually went back to Illinois after I got out of the service, and I could not do it. Like, I had to be in the burbs, because living in like the city, I just felt so claustrophobic. to the point where it's like, if I don't see a tree, if I don't see something, I need to be able to go out and have fresh air. Like once you awaken to a certain
Yeah.
knowledge, then it's like
Yeah.
you just you
And
crave it. You crave
you
it
know it
all
was
the
built that
time.
way.
So
You know it was built that way. You know there's a reason there's no trees in the hood. But don't get me started.
please do.
They
Please do.
don't want us
That's the point
breathing
of this. That's
fresh,
the
clean
point of this.
air.
That is the whole point. No, why? Why? I was literally just talking about this the other day. Listen. Okay, we about to get into it. So, y'all, this is the Conscious Vegan, aka her, well,
Yes.
Kindle, aka the Conscious Vegan, right? So can you tell us a little about your journey? What
Okay.
inspired you to go
So
plant-based?
I started my cycle when I was pretty young. I don't know what the average age, but I was in the 5th grade, which in my opinion is pretty young, but I grew up eating poorly. You know, I grew up eating McDonald's and fried chicken and cheese, you know, the typical American diet.
Right,
So as I got
right.
older, my menstrual cycle just got worse and worse. And as far as cramps, you know, and heavy bleeding. And then by the time I got to college,
Right.
you know, I'm in college living it up, really dying it up, you know, drinking all the time,
Right.
multiple times a week, going out, having casual sex with men who didn't deserve me, you know, just living a very toxic lifestyle, having Domino's and Taco Bell at 2 a.m. And my cycle just kept getting worse and worse. And it got to the point where like it was
Mhm.
unbearable. And even like that week following my cycle was unbearable. And there were times I was just debilitated, like literally stuck in bed, couldn't go to work, couldn't go to school. Um,
Right. So you mean
Pain,
worse and
yes,
worse
in the
in the
sense
sense
of
of like
pain, like
pain,
literally.
pain.
Yeah.
And was like your
Heavy
flow
flow.
heavy? Was
All right, y'all. If you haven't picked up your copy of Greatness is a Habit, authored by Aaron Dixon, otherwise known as True, many of you know him as True. He is an ex Carbonation member and he's authored this amazing read. If you are interested in self development and growth, this book is a good one for you. It's available on Apple Books for $1, guys. I got my copy and I love this book.
it like
Heavy
that too, or is
flow,
it just
7
the
days
pain?
long, and extremely excruciating pain. I started going to the ER, and that's where, you know, I had a sonogram done and I found out I had ovarian cysts. And from there, the
Mhm.
doctors were just like birth control. And at that point, I was ignorant, you know. So I'm like, okay, this is the answer. I started taking birth control. And, you know, that helped for some time, but still, I was living that toxic lifestyle. And I knew like I didn't really want to be on birth control because at this time I'm starting to hear about Dr. Sebi. You know, God is starting to plant the seeds, right? I'm hearing
Mhm.
about Dr. Sebi. I
Mhm.
discovered Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. But still, you know, I'm in college. I'm like, fuck it, I'm
Mhm.
young. I'm gonna do what I want. Still living this toxic lifestyle.
Right.
And then one day, you know, this was June 2018. I'll never forget. June 2018, the pain was so excruciating. I went to the ER. Like, I think I went to the ER in an ambulance. And they did, you know, they did
Mhm.
another sonogram and they told me that I was having torsion, which is pretty much when like, you know, the cyst was so heavy that like my fallopian tubes were bending. And it was, you know, obstructing the oxygen
Oh.
flow. And, you know, I was rushed into emergency surgery. They removed the cyst, put me back on
Mhm.
birth control. No,
Did they tell
thank
you they
God
had
they
to
were
remove
able
your
to
fallopian
save
tubes?
every part of my
Right.
reproductive system. Like literally, this was God's will. This was God's will. Most women in that
Right. That's a
situation would have lost, you
blessing.
know, it would have been like a partial hysterectomy.
Mm-hmm.
But God saved my reproductive
Right.
system.
And
At this
what was your
time,
age? What was your age at this time? You said you
2018,
were in
how old was I?
college.
I think I was 21. I was 21. 21 years old, about to lose my
21.
reproductive.
Damn near lost your
Girl,
fallopian tube.
crazy. But this was all God's plan for me, you know. This was all
Jeez.
God's plan for me so that
Mm-hmm.
I experienced that young so that I could be teaching women right now at 26 years old. 26 years
Mm-hmm.
young, excuse me. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so after my surgery, you know, they didn't recommend any lifestyle changes, so I go back to doing what I was doing.
Right.
Right, birth control,
Birth control.
eating dairy, eating meat, partying it up still.
Correct.
Y'all, I kid you not.
Mm-hmm.
4 months later, my pain was back. I was back in the ER. My cysts were back. My cysts were back.
See, I have a question. So what were they saying to you? Were they just so
Yeah.
they recommended birth control? The healthcare system recommended birth control. Were they telling you, oh, this will help and you will no
No,
longer have cysts, you will no longer have symptoms? Or were they like,
yeah,
you can
pretty
do this and
much.
it will suppress it? Because that's
Mhm.
essentially what it sounds like. It suppressed your symptoms
Yes.
temporarily and then
They
it
were
came
like,
back
there is no
just as
cure for
strong.
endometriosis. You should take birth control for the rest of
Right.
your life, pretty much until
Mm.
menopause, because that's going to regulate the pain. And when the pain becomes unbearable, we'll go back in there and clear out, all the tissue and the cysts every few years. That's pretty much what they told me.
Right.
So I should just expect to be on birth
Right.
control and have surgery every few years.
So what is the
You
point
tell
of the
me.
birth control? What is That's what I'm like. So okay, if I'm gonna have to continue to do this process, what is the birth control doing? Are they like giving you this idea that, oh, it's
I
gonna
mean,
balance your hormones? Like I'm trying to understand what that mindset is just pushing, and is it just like big pharma?
you know,
They getting paid to
deep
do
down,
this type of thing, and I'm
deep
like,
down,
it
that's
doesn't
what it
make
is.
sense.
Deep down, that's what it is. This is all about power and money control. But I don't think all doctors realize that.
Mm,
They're
I can definitely agree with that and see that because I've worked in the medical industry for a number of years, and the doctors are indoctrinated to just say, hey, or take this medication, take this pill, instead of looking at more holistic approaches to treatment. Unfortunately, that's just how Western medicine is.
But I don't think all doctors realize that.
mm,
They're just indoctrinated. And they're just speaking
mm-hmm.
what they've learned, what they have been taught. So the doctors are
Yeah.
just telling me, what has been drilled into their minds, and they're telling me like birth control is your only option,
Mm-hmm.
and this is gonna help regulate the pain.
That
And when the pain is bad, come back.
That kills me. Right. That kills me because literally you said it. That this is what doctors have been indoctrinated with. This is what they were taught in school. I would literally when you have a child, you have to take your child to the pediatrician. When for the checkups. And I was just so nervous to do that after I had children because I'm like, they're gonna tell me vaccinate, do this, do that, right? And my first child, never vaccinated. My second child, same. And it's like literally you have to fight with the doctors and they're looking at you like you're crazy. And it's like literally I had a pediatrician tell me, do
Wow.
you want your child to die? Like it because she was taught that if you don't do this, then something could happen to and then the baby will die. Like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I feel like being doctors and having the power that they have, the power because they do
People
hold
trust
power.
them.
They do because people believe them. People will
Hmm.
listen to what they say and just take it. Don't listen to anybody else just because they have that label. And I feel like they need to be retrained. They need
No, I don't think they need to be retrained because they have been trained in the ways of Western medicine. What you can do if you're watching this and listening is find a holistic doctor. They do exist. Most of them are cash only practices, so you got to be prepared to pay out of pocket to see the holistic providers.
they need to be retrained. They need proper training. If anything, they need to take a herbalist course, learn some
Absolutely.
type of holistic medicine
Absolutely.
if you're going to be in that field. But like you said, I think it all stems back to big pharma, money, greed, because it gets
Hmm.
deep, y'all. This stuff gets really deep when you look into it. Because even right now, there's studies being done where they're trying to they're doing studies, labs, they're actually paying people to study how to turn off the regenerative genes in your body. So we know our body can heal itself if we just feed it what it needs to.
Hmm.
Do nothing, our body will heal, right? It will regenerate. They're literally paying people right now, paying scientists right now to turn off that gene, to learn how to deactivate that gene so you're no longer able to heal yourself. So you started having seeds planted as around, like you said, around 21 after that first emergency room visit, not the first one,
Yeah, and I
but the
had
one where you had the sonogram
surgery.
and they
I had
found the
surgery.
cyst. And that's when you started getting the seeds planted of Dr. Sebi, etc. So was Dr. Sebi your
I want to
first?
say it was Queen Afua because I just randomly discovered Sacred
Mm,
Woman by Queen Afua in 2017. So at the around that time,
just random.
the thought is there. The seeds planted, the thought is there, but I'm young and ignorant. I'm not trying to give up, pizza and partying and drinking. But when those
Right.
cysts came back, literally 4 or 5 months later, I was like, all right, it's time. It's time. This was in November 2018, and then I set a New Year's resolution 2019. I'm going vegan. I went vegan, and here I am now. Here I am now.
Right. That's beautiful. So you
Yeah, I
and
did
you said that
cold
you did it
turkey.
cold turkey. Was that how challenging was that? Because at this time I'm assuming like you're not around
Mhm.
family to the point because you're off in college, you're not around family that's not used to living that lifestyle, but you still pretty much are in an environment that doesn't support that lifestyle. Like you said, you're in college, what are you doing? Drinking, partying, eating whatever because that's what's around you, that's what you're taught. So was it difficult to make that transition when you're literally in an environment that's doing the complete
It wasn't
opposite?
it wasn't that difficult because I don't know, I just had to do it. It's like I have to. I had no choice
Mm-hmm.
but to do it. Of course, it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
easy being around friends who are, still drinking all the time and eating McDonald's and stuff. But for me, it was like a life or death situation. Like when I tell you I was debilitated, they had me on morphine, on oxy,
Mm-hmm.
all types of drugs. So yeah, it
On
just was no, I
everything,
had
on
to do it. And
everything.
what I did was I started to go into I would meet with the head of the cafeteria and tell them like, listen, I'm paying y'all for a
Mm-hmm.
meal plan. You need to supply me with vegan options. And they would literally buy me vegan
Mm-hmm.
food and like write my name on it and keep it in the back for me. So I literally went in there, was like,
I
no,
love
y'all
that.
gonna accommodate. So, but also I was eating stuff that I knew was
Right.
vegan. I would eat a lot of potatoes, French fries, rice, those kind of things were always there. Yeah, all of the
Starchy
toxic stuff,
foods.
Um, so it
Mm-hmm.
definitely wasn't plant-based in the beginning. When I went vegan, I was like, okay, what can I still have? I can.
Y'all, real quick story time. So, at one point in my life, I was 297 pounds, and I changed my diet, and I went from a size 24 down to a size 12 just by changing my diet. No exercise, just changed my diet. I cut out rice for a little while, and I cut out all starches for a little while, and then I slowly reintroduced them. Even to this day, I don't eat as much starch as I used to. So I get where she's coming from. It's a process. I don't want to be plant based. I'm good with just eating a healthier,
When
balanced
I went
diet.
vegan, I was like, okay, what can I still have? I can still have Skittles and I can still have Oreos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was still eating toxic. So it
Right.
definitely wasn't where I'm at right
Right.
now. Eventually I had to learn. And the
Mm-hmm.
more, I stayed on this path, the more enlightened I became. And I've probably been really plant-based for like 2 years now.
Mm-hmm. But you've been vegan
2019,
for since 2018,
2019. My New
or
Year's
was it
resolution, yeah. My New
2019?
Year's
Because you
resolution
started in
was in
January.
2019 to go
Right.
vegan. And
See, y'all be talking a mess about New Year's resolutions, and look,
okay,
she made her
okay.
New Year's resolution, and look
Y'all
at her
gotta
now.
just
Don't hate,
exactly. You
because
just
you
gotta
can't be
have
disciplined.
discipline. That's the
Okay, don't.
problem. Most people lack discipline. They always come to
Yes.
people for advice, and what I've learned is that most people just need a confidence boost. They need discipline. We
Mhm.
know right from wrong. We know right from wrong. We just don't
That's
have the
that's so
stamina. We just
true.
don't have the discipline to actually, live
Mm.
that lifestyle for many reasons. I ain't judging nobody. Um, but yeah,
Yeah. Right, right. I love that you say that on your page often that you're not just, you don't care if you go vegan, if this person goes vegan, you're just preaching a lifestyle. I like one to bring awareness because sometimes people don't know. Like you found Dr. Sebi. You probably didn't know about that lifestyle before you found, I'm sorry, Queen Afua, before you found Queen Afua and Dr. Sebi. Or you probably didn't know about that lifestyle before then. Like we grew up eating pizza
for real.
rolls, Tostinos, whatever, with the sad
Sad
the standard
diet. Yep.
American diet, that sad diet. We grew up eating that. So until we were, and that's what I'm getting off track, but the fact that you're just spreading awareness and you're not bringing judgment, whether you choose to eat meat or not. One of your posts says, whether you choose that lifestyle or not, it's just important
Absolutely.
to incorporate more plants. And I like that you you do that. Because, a lot of people start.
Y'all, there is one thing I cannot stand. I can't stand somebody else who's on a healthy kick or going towards veganism or plant-based, and then all of a sudden they start telling you what's wrong with your diet and what you're eating. I mean, do your thing, you know what I'm saying? But let me live. Let me live.
You do that because a lot of people start acting stank. One, I honestly think it's because of the lack of discipline and the comfortability. But like you said, whether you choose that lifestyle or not, just incorporate more of a healthy, incorporate more life is exactly the balance. I listen, I'm struggling right now with my transition, and I'm like, I just listen,
And that's
I'm struggling
okay.
right now with my transition where it's like I'm like, I know. I'm like, I'm being more gentle with myself than I would have before. Because before, I went cold turkey, where it's like I cut everything off. I'm like, you know what? I was eating raw. Like I was like on it, and then it was like a rebellious thing where I went off of it because I'm like I felt like I was being controlled so much that I was just like, I'm gonna do what I want, and I went overboard with it, and now I'm like, this lifestyle does not support me. It's like it's me choosing my lifestyle again without anybody else's influence. And man, I'm like, the lifestyle that I was living where I'm eating meat. It's just that you have these symptoms. You had the painful periods. For me, I had constipation. I'm like, there is no reason that I should go 3-4 days without having a bowel movement.
When
That
we
does
eat
not make
every day.
sense. I'm like, one, and we exactly. You should be having a bowel movement at least 3 to 4 times a day, as much as you eat, right? So I'm like, having the awareness of that. I'm like, I know this is not normal. I don't feel good because of this. I'm constantly feeling weighed down. I'm feeling tired. I'm having all these symptoms that we choose to ignore. And you you said something about it. You had no choice. And I really want to tell people that it's like, don't wait until you don't have the choice. Why wait until something happens to you? Because a lot of people have the keys now. We're literally in the age of information.
I get what you're saying, Tori, aka Joy, but some of us enjoy a little fried chicken, a good cooked steak, some fish. You know, we like our meat. Well, at least I know I do.
We're literally in the age of information. We have the keys now. A lot of people see the information already, they just ignore it. So I'm like, why wait
Right.
till you have to do it? And by that point, you're trying to play
Literally.
catch up and heal and do all this
Literally.
other when you already have to heal. But it's 10 times, I feel like it's 10 times harder at that point because your body's playing catch up. So why wait? Why wait? I want to know, what are some of your pet peeves as a plant-based vegan? Because like I said, you're the queen of sarcasm. You be throwing shots on your page and it's hilarious. So what are some of your
In regards
biggest
to
pet
what? Like in
peeves?
regards to what?
It Anything, like, okay, I can say one of my pet peeves are when someone finds out you're vegan, they're like, "Oh, you
Oh
gotta
my
make sure you
gosh.
get enough
Yes.
nutrients." But I'm like, before you knew I wasn't vegan, I mean, I was vegan, you didn't care about
Exactly.
my nutrient deficiencies, and majority of
Yeah,
people now are nutrient
I think
deficient.
that's
So
probably number one for me because people once you start to live a healthy lifestyle, it's like all of a sudden they're concerned. Like you weren't concerned when I was eating McDonald's. You weren't concerned when I was taking shots of Henny, but you concerned now
right,
that I'm eating plant. That don't make sense to
right,
me. And
right,
also, I hate that people like something that bugs
right.
me. Okay, something that really bugs me is when people like if I call like if I like veganize, like literally my vegan cookbook is called Veganize It, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because what I did was I
Mm-hmm.
veganized some classic recipes. And people hate when you hold on to that name. If
Right,
I'm like vegan fried chicken or vegan, vegan tuna, people hate that.
right,
And it's like, bro, I'm just highlighting what I recreated. And it's like y'all really be mad at the wrong thing.
right,
So I think that's definitely my top three.
right. This is not
Like
chicken.
I
Do not
know it's
call it
not chicken.
chicken.
That's
Is
why I
that what
call
you
it
mean?
vegan chicken. Like, that for me,
Yeah.
like when I call something like
Mhm.
vegan chicken, for me that's just a way to, show the people that, you can go vegan and still, enjoy those textures, those flavors. It's just a way to help people
Right.
see that, it ain't boring on this side. We still eating good, you know?
Right. She from
Okay,
Harlem. You know she
for
finna eat good. You
real.
know she
She gonna
got
be
the
that's something
flavor.
that blows
Like,
mine for real.
man, I agree. I agree. That is one of the that's super annoying. I'm looking at my notes because I did have some stuff I wanted to ask you, but we really went over a lot of it because I'm like, yeah, we
Mhm.
went on our
Okay.
spiel. Okay, so I have something a little off topic. A little off topic because Kendall Fine. Kendall Fine. Are you in a relationship? Are you looking for or are you
Um,
looking for a
no,
relationship?
no, and
I'm not shooting my shot. Let me make that. I'm not shooting my shot, y'all. I'm not. I'm asking for the people because I know y'all gonna be hitting me up.
no,
Like,
no, and no.
what's
I'm
up with
not
her?
looking for anything. I feel like as a woman, feminine energy, you're just supposed to attract. You're just supposed to attract. So,
Mm,
whatever is looking for me is supposed to find me. And
mm,
at the moment, I'm in a very transitional phase in my life right now. So it's just me and God. I'm in a relationship with God, and when God is ready
I
to
love
present me with
that.
my king, I'll be ready. But until then, I'm getting ready for him. And I
Mm,
know that he will find me when the time is right. So it's just me. And no, I'm
right,
not looking for anything.
right. I think that's so important to like.
All right, y'all. If you haven't picked up your copy of Greatness is a Habit, authored by Aaron Dixon, otherwise known as True, many of you know him as True. He is an ex Carbonation member and he's authored this amazing read. If you are interested in self development and growth, this book is a good one for you. It's available on Apple Books for $1, guys. I got my copy and I love this book.
You said it's you
Mhm.
building a relationship with not only you but with God. And it's like I feel like that's what a lot of people miss, especially now
Mhm.
when there's instant gratification everywhere. They're like, I can just swipe right
Yeah.
and I can get a date. And it's like before they even cultivated a
Yes.
relationship with themselves and God. It's like you forgot to incorporate God. You forgot to love you. And now you're expecting to love someone
Yes.
else, and that's why
Absolutely.
everything falls apart. You didn't even include God. You didn't ask what was you don't
Your
even know your
your
mission. You
purpose
don't even
on
know
this
your God-given
earth. You
mission.
don't even know
You
yourself. Like, how are you supposed
you
to?
don't know your
You don't even love yourself, and you're
right.
trying to love someone else is just chaotic. And that's something that I've
Right.
really had to learn on my journey because I growing up, I was very insecure. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people would tell me I'm beautiful, and I just didn't believe it. I grew up very insecure, and I would look for that
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that validation in men.
Validation.
I just felt like if an attractive
Mm-hmm.
man was into me, I must be attractive. So I was just,
Right.
I was wilding. I was wilding. I'm not even gonna lie. And I really had to learn that, love starts from within, and how to love myself because when I didn't love myself, when I was living a toxic life, I was attracting toxic men, and since becoming
Right.
enlightened, and
Right.
during that time, I used to be like, niggas ain't, I was such a, niggas ain't shit kind of woman, and it's like, of course, I'm
Mm-hmm.
speaking that into the universe. That's what I'm attracting. Exactly. So
What you
since
think you're finna
becoming
get back?
enlightened, I've
Right.
I'm a better woman now. Now I attract better men. So I want to be the best version of
Mm-hmm.
myself before I attract a man because
Mm-hmm.
when I am the best version of myself, I'm gonna attract the best man for me. So, sis, just
Right.
love on yourself. Just love on yourself and he will come.
Right. Yes, I feel like loving on yourself, it also is knowing what you will
Mhm.
accept and what you will not accept because you can take all the time to know your purpose, to love yourself, and then sometimes you will get those monkey wrenches thrown at you. Say you're like, okay, I'm now in this phase where I'll start allowing myself to get to that point, and you attract these men, and it can look good, on face value, right? It can look good off, like I said, on the surface, but then those red flags start popping up. And so I feel like that's where it's important to go back to what you did, to where you love yourself and you taught yourself, okay, like I know for a
Mhm.
fact that this is a deal breaker for me. I know that that's a no go for me in a relationship. So what are like some of your no goes and your deal breakers that you will not tolerate? Because I feel like women, not just women, men too, where we become so codependent, like you said, seeking validation outside of ourselves, that we do
Mhm.
not set proper boundaries. And so what are some boundaries that you have set for yourself that you will not allow?
Right. Yeah.
Just as that
Um,
simple. What are some
in
boundaries that
terms
you've
of
set for yourself?
relationships, of course, the basics, don't tolerate no disrespect, don't tolerate, but as I
Mm-hmm.
become more enlightened and I'm taking better care of myself, like a man who is plant-based is a requirement. It's a requirement at this
Mm-hmm.
point because I'm
Yes.
not going to bear children with a
Mm-hmm.
man who's eating McDonald's. Absolutely not. So
Man, that is
plant-based
the
for
hardest
me is a deal
thing.
breaker.
I definitely think that she'll be able to find someone who's plant based to mate with and be with because it's veganism is all the rage now. It's the big thing.
So
And that is
plant-based
the
for
hardest
me
thing.
is a deal breaker. A man who takes care of his temple is a deal breaker. A man who
Mm-hmm.
prays is a deal breaker. A man,
Mm-hmm.
who walks in his purpose is a deal breaker. So some of the things, just the things that I do, you need to be a reflection of me. Of course I want a man who
Mm-hmm.
is wiser in some areas. I want a man who can lead, who can teach me something, but for the most part, you need to be a reflection of me. I take care of my body, you take care of your body. I
Mm-hmm.
have a relationship with God, you need to have a
Right.
relationship with God. So everything that I
Mm-hmm.
am, I pray that my king is that. And some.
Right. And
Right.
some.
And some.
And
I
some.
feel like, we want
Right.
all these qualities in a partner, but when you finally get that person, they're gonna be beyond your wildest dreams for real. So I want whatever God
Yes.
wants for me. Fuck what I want. I want whatever God wants for
Yes.
me because I know that is
Right.
the best for me.
That's a mm-hmm. I love that. I keep saying that. I love that. Because I do. Like, your journey has been an inspiration for me. Like, you were part of the reason why I transitioned again. I'm like, I keep seeing that smirk on my
I agree.
timeline every day. And I'm like, Tori,
I
just
love
do
that.
it.
That's
Stop
why I do
playing.
this. I
Like, just
literally
do
do
it.
this. Like my platform is like 80% women, statistically speaking. Like
Mm-hmm.
I literally do this for the woman. God put me through what he put me through so that I can be an inspiration for women because there's no reason why we should be suffering
Yes.
1 to 2 weeks out of the month for the majority of our lives. Like these doctors literally told me,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, you can expect to experience relief during menopause." Are you dumb? Are you dumb? You think I'm gonna
During me,
spend my whole
in 30 years, you'll be good. Like, what, sir, ma'am?
That's
In
crazy.
30 years.
No.
Really?
That's not what God
Oh,
intended for
okay.
us.
That is,
So God is using me.
and they
Yeah,
hit you with
like
the it's
no, what's
genetics.
genetic is
It's
that diet.
genetics.
That's what's genetic.
Right. It's that lifestyle. That lifestyle. And I feel like that's something that I've always wanted to teach as well, where it comes with
Mhm.
genetics. Okay, yes, some things are, it is genetic in a way. But like you said, it's that lifestyle. Because if you change your lifestyle, you're not, for example, I have obesity that runs in my family, right? But if I don't live that same lifestyle that my father, my grandmother, that they lived, I'm not going to be obese. I'm not going to be overweight because I'm not going to have hypertension because I'm not eating the same foods. I'm not experiencing the same stress. You
Mhm.
can deactivate a gene in your DNA strand, whatever you want to call it, genetics. You have genes active on your DNA strand, and you can silence those genes if you switch up your lifestyle, if you switch up your environment. We are literally cells in our body, and I don't think that we take that. I don't. We just have to understand the technologies of our body and what we're here for. And everything has gotten to a point where nothing is sacred anymore. And I feel
That's
like that's where the distraction came in. Everything, I said it earlier, where it's like everything is instant. There's instant gratification, and there's no
Y'all, one thing y'all can't say about these ex carbonation members, y'all can't say that they can't talk. Because they could talk and talk and talk some more.
instant gratification, and there's no intention, and there's no purpose. There's no thought behind why we're doing the things that we're doing. And I think that's why I love Scorpios so much too, is because Scorpios are so self-aware. They are the signs that dive deep and that will get to the root of why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm not just going to be running on autopilot. I want to know why I act the way that I
mhm.
act, why I do the things that I do. And I feel like if people just come back to that,
Hey, Scorpio gang gang. Y'all know I'm a member, a proud member, a card carrying member of the Scorpio gang,
I feel
y'all.
like if people just come back to that, if they come back to really self-awareness and
Yeah.
analyzing themselves, then
And the more,
you can't
yeah, and the
be
more you do
stopped.
that, the
You
better
can't.
discernment you will have. You know, in the era of social
Mm,
media, you can attract anything. You can attract anything. You know, I have
mm,
men in my
yes.
DM every day. I have, business opportunities in my DM
Mm-hmm.
every day. You know, I can get on Tinder and find a date
Mm-hmm.
in the next 2 hours. You know, you can attract anything in the era of social
Right.
media. But are you attracting something of
Mm-hmm.
substance? Are you attracting something of God?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. In
Is it in
alignment with
alignment
what you're
with
supposed to be
you? And that's
doing.
why you need to know yourself,
Like,
because the more you know yourself, the closer your relationship with God, the better discernment you have, and it's harder for you to be fooled by the
mm-hmm.
enemy.
Right. Right, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Because like, no, that's just a distraction. A lot of a lot of these opportunities are just distractions from what you're actually, and that's why like I'm careful for what I accept and what I do, because I'm like, that's just you can,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, the discernment becomes stronger. Your intuition becomes stronger from what's actually a distraction and what's going to keep
Mm-hmm.
me in alignment with my mission, with my purpose. And what is
My
what
purpose
is your
is to
purpose?
be of service to my culture,
Mm-hmm.
period. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know exactly what God's plan is for me, but I know that I will always be of
Mm-hmm.
service to my community, and I will always uplift my community, and I will always use my throat chakra
Mm-hmm.
to speak truth and righteousness
Mm-hmm.
to my community. That's my purpose. And I think that's all of our
I
purpose.
agree.
Everyone's purpose is to be of
Mm-hmm.
service. We're all going to be of service and different things. We all have different skills, different talents. And, once you discover what that is, tap into it and just go all the way. Go all the way. I think that's really
Mm-hmm.
the key to life. And what makes someone happier than seeing, someone you love smile because you did.
All right, y'all. If you haven't picked up your copy of Greatness is a Habit, authored by Aaron Dixon, otherwise known as True, many of you know him as True. He is an ex Carbonation member, and he's authored this amazing read. If you are interested in self development and growth, this book is a good one for you. It's available on Apple Books for $1, guys. I got my copy and I love this book.
It. Don't that bring you joy? Don't that bring you
Mm-hmm.
joy when you
Right.
when you buy someone you
Yes.
love a gift and
Yes.
they love it so
Yes.
much and they so grateful? Like, don't that bring joy to
Mm-hmm.
your heart? I feel like that's the purpose of life for everybody.
Right.
So my purpose is just to follow God's plan and be of service to
To
my
be of
culture, to my people, to
yeah.
remind us where we come
Mm-hmm.
from, and to help us get back on the right track, because so much injustice has been inflicted on us as a community and we lost. So God's using me as a
Right.
vessel. Many of us, including you. There's so many people in this health space, who God is using to get us back on the right track. And like we was just talking
Mm-hmm.
about discernment, and opportunities. I barely go live with people. I barely go live with people. I barely
Mm-hmm.
respond to DMs. I barely interact and socialize, but
Yeah.
that discernment, I, I appreciate, you reaching out, and this
Mm-hmm.
was in alignment. So here I am.
I appreciate you for hitting me up, for
For
responding.
sure.
I do appreciate that. But I'm at a phase now where I
Mm-hmm.
think that there's so many of us that have awakened, that have been enlightened to this information,
Mm-hmm.
that it's time for movement, you know? I think it's important to continue to use our throat chakras, like you said, but to move, we can invoke. You invoke
Mm-hmm.
movement with your voice, with your words, and I think it's like, why hasn't there been some type of movement to where the FDA is regulated to where, because do you remember that
No.
juice scandal that just happened, right? And there was like, it was some Simply juice, and people were like, oh, that's owned by
Mm-hmm.
Coca-Cola, y'all should have known not to buy it, blase blase, right? Well, yes, some people are enlightened to that information to know, like, not to even trust that. But the fact that it was
Mm-hmm.
even labeled non-GMO, people are spending extra money because it's labeled non-GMO, it's labeled organic. And the FDA, when it came out that juice that was labeled non-GMO had over 4 to 7,000 chemicals, 4 to 7,000 chemicals, they were like, oh, we don't actually regulate it. We just, it's pretty much like that initial test to see if it's safe for consumption, right? I feel like, why is there not some movement that's regulating stuff like that, that's regulating the quality of products that's being pushed out to us and that's being fed to us? And why aren't some of these chemicals banned? Like, I feel like at this point we're all enlightened to this information. Why are we not pushing, yo, we want this shit banned from our environment, we no longer want it here? Why are we not creating something like that? I'm like, that's where my mind is at with it right now, where I'm like, there needs to be some type of change, because we can acknowledge it, we can see it, we can be like, oh, don't trust that. Well, we know we're not supposed to trust that, but why not banish that? Why not push that to the side completely? Do you know what I mean?
Why are we not, revolutionizing? Why are we not unionizing and fighting back?
Right.
But I mean, I try not to get too much into that on these platforms, because they really be coming after.
Right.
They really be coming after people, but
this shit is all about power and
control. It don't matter. We just need to do our own thing. I'm done. We need to stop asking, these people for handouts and to look after us, when they've proven time and time again they don't give a fuck about us. So, we need to just disassociate completely. That's my opinion. Fuck them, fuck their systems. I don't want them. Keep your systems. We need to start our own.
And I think that I can see that's where the mind of it, where most people are going, where it's like, okay, we need to go back to self-sustainability. And I agree with that, because we have become right now has become like, we're consumers.
We're dependent
on a whole nother level. Like, literally, you scroll on your timeline, buy this, buy that, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, a bunch of shit that you don't even need, a bunch of stuff you don't even need to sustain yourself. None of this stuff is gonna matter. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that's being advertised to you on a daily basis that you don't even need. That's not even to support your greatest good. So self-sustainability, I can see that.
We are completely dependent on these systems that don't give a fuck about us, and that's our problem. That's our problem,
Right.
But that's all I can say. That's all I can say on this platform.
It's mind control on a whole nother level.
For real.
On a whole nother level. And I'll end it on that, because like you said, like, my mind just start going, and I'm about to go there, and I'm catching myself. I'm like, don't do it. But I appreciate you for coming on here and talking to the people and dropping your wisdom and your experience, so people can learn from you. And if you haven't heard of The Conscious Vegan, please go to her page. It's literally The Conscious Vegan, spelled with a K, though. The Conscious Vegan, spelled with a K, and you can hear more about her journey and the jewels that she drops on maintaining a plant-based lifestyle, not just from a plant-based lifestyle, but your environment and the things that you feed your soul.
We are spiritual beings.
If y'all haven't tapped in, tap in. And she has 2 cookbooks. Hold up. Before I close it, I forgot. I have one of her cookbooks. I haven't got the alkaline yet. I have the Veganize It cookbook, and that is lit. When I listen, I have so many vegan cookbooks, and I don't like many of the recipes that I get. I'm like, dang. Like, but when I got yours, I'm like, you know what? Let me just give it another shot. I'm not just gonna let this sit in my PDFs. Let me try this cookbook. When I tell you, flavor. Like, I tried the macaroni. I tried the jerk pasta.
Listen, I could throw down. I could throw down for real. Like, I love to cook. I am like, that's like my top love language, like cooking for people. So I'm like, I want to show these people that vegan food is delicious. Like, why are you scared to switch? They think they're gonna miss out. Like, no, we eat very well on this side. So that's what that was. But yeah, definitely if anyone out there needs help, on their plant-based journey, you don't even gotta be vegan to get a vegan cookbook. Just incorporate vegan meals into your lifestyle, because we are plants. We need plants, so definitely tap in, link in my bio. But yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me on. Yeah.
I appreciate you again.
All right.
I'm
All
close
right.
it
Peace,
out. Thank
y'all.
you. Bye. Uh, I don't know how to okay. She did it. I'm like, I'm such an old lady when it comes to technology, yo. I'm like, I don't know how to exit this off. I don't know how to end it. But thank y'all for joining. Y'all met the conscious vegan. Such a beautiful, just such a beautiful woman, a true inspiration to meet, not only to me, but to many people. And like I said, if y'all haven't checked out her page, got that Veganize It cookbook, the alkaline cookbook as well. Do it. Do it. You sleeping. I'm not even just saying that just to say it. Like, I've actually tried her recipes and they're actually good. When I tell you I have like 5 vegan cookbooks, and hers is my favorite because it actually tastes good and the instructions are simple. It's like, I feel like it's for those the beginners. The beginners that want to try vegan foods or actually want to make that full transition. I feel like the cookbook is made for that. But thank you.
All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video as well as my commentary. Please be sure to drop me a comment, smash the heck out of that like button, and share. Guys, I want to give a warm welcome to all of my new subscribers. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the channel. To all of my OGs, my day ones, my ride or dies, y'all already know what it is. Big up yourself. We in the building with it.